Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a really exciting explainer. We're going to unpack something I get asked about all the time: how to use AI to reverse engineer successful formats and build a complete remake blueprint. If you've ever watched an incredible piece of content and thought, man, how do I break down exactly why that worked and recreate it for my own audience? Well, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to tear down the exact mechanics of using AI to dissect media. But first, let's address a super common frustration. You find a masterpiece, right? You copy the URL, drop it into your favorite AI tool, and sit back waiting for this magical scene-by-scene breakdown. It feels like the tech should just be able to look at the web page like a human does and instantly spill all the secrets hidden inside that link. But can AI actually just watch a video link? Honestly, no, it really can't. The AI absolutely needs precise inputs, and raw URLs are a massive bottleneck in this process. When you just drop a link in there, the AI generally isn't watching the media at all. Instead, it's just running a quick web search based on the URL's metadata or the title. It's like asking a master chef to recreate a brilliantly complex, multi-layered dish, but you only give them the name of the restaurant. It's just not going to work. Dropping a link usually just spits out related finance summaries or generic text, not the exact scene-by-scene gold you desperately need. All right, so let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the AI link problem. Second, providing the right inputs. Third, decoding the video structure. And finally, number 4, scripts, prompts, and editing. Let's jump right into part 1, the AI link problem, and why URLs fail. The core of this issue is perfectly summed up by this quote right from our source material. I can't directly watch or fully analyze that YouTube video from the link alone. Without the actual media file, the AI is literally flying blind. I mean, think about it. It can't see the pacing of the cuts. It can't hear the intonation or feel the emotional gravity of the voiceover. And it certainly can't track those split-second visual hooks that keep you glued to the screen. Relying on just a link is a huge roadblock if you want a true, accurate reverse engineering process. Remember, to get high-quality, actionable insights, you've got to feed the AI high-quality data to begin with. Which brings us to part 2, providing the right inputs, or how we actually feed the machine. So if you want the AI to truly get what's happening, you've got to bypass the URL entirely. The absolute best option? Upload the video file directly. When you give the AI the actual hard file, you're cutting out the middleman completely. No more guessing games based on web searches. The system can literally process every single visual frame, it transcribes the exact audio track, and it analyzes the whole package exactly like a human viewer would. If you want an incredibly accurate remake blueprint, handing over the native file is, without a doubt, your gold standard. But hey, what if you just can't download and upload the hard file? You're not out of luck. You just have to get a little more manual with your inputs. For example, you can paste the full transcript or subtitles, which gives the AI the complete narrative arc and spoken structure. Or, if the visuals are what make the format pop, you'll need to manually send screenshots every 5 to 10 seconds. You're basically feeding the machine a visual flipbook of the pacing, which gives it enough data to grasp the camera movements and scene changes. As a last resort, you can write out a really thorough summary of what happens. Just remember, the more granular and precise your input, the much better your final reverse engineered output is going to be. Okay, moving on to part 3, decoding the video structure, where we get into scene-by-scene analysis. Now, what's really interesting here is how this timeline perfectly maps out the full structural timing of a successful narrative arc, all the way from the first second down to the 2-minute mark. Once you've fed in the right inputs, the AI delivers this full structural analysis, showing you exactly how the original creator engineered their pacing to hook you. Just look at this breakdown. You've got a blazing fast hook right out of the gate from 0 to 5 seconds. Immediately after, the problem setup grabs your attention from the 5 to 20 second mark. The meat of the explanation happens between 20 and 60 seconds. Then, crucially, you get hit with this emotional payoff from 60 to 90 seconds, rounding everything out with a solid call to action up to the 120 second mark. This isn't just an observation, it is the literal skeletal framework you're going to use for your own remake. It shows you the math behind the magic. And that leads us to our final section, part 4, scripts, prompts, and editing, the final deliverables. Remember that simple transcript we talked about feeding into the AI earlier? Well, what comes out on the other side is so much more powerful. The AI generates a comprehensive remake script, and we're not just talking about dialogue to read into a mic. It explicitly details the voiceover, yes, but it also gives you specific scene prompts for what should be visually happening on screen at that exact moment. It tells you precise camera motions, like when to pan or tilt, and dictates exactly what transitions you need to tie it all together smoothly. It completely bridges the gap between the written word and your final visual execution. And this brilliantly illustrates how the AI connects high-level strategy with actual production. It creates a targeted prompt pack tailored for heavy-hitting visual generation tools. So whether you're using Runway, Pika, Kling AI, or Midjourney, you get the exact textual prompts you need. You just copy and paste them to generate the specific B-roll or imagery for your remake. You don't have to sit there tearing your hair out trying to guess what combination of words will give you that cinematic look. The AI has already translated the original video's aesthetic into tool-specific language for you. Finally, this all builds into the polishing phase with an incredibly detailed editing blueprint. Getting the raw footage is really only half the battle, right? This blueprint is absolutely crucial because it gives you exact instructions for when to execute zoom cuts to keep viewer retention sky high. It tells you exactly where to drop in those cinematic transitions. It outlines the specific caption styles that match the pacing of the original, and it even breaks down the sound design. It tells you exactly where to place whooshes, risers, or ambient noise to give your final product that professional, engaging polish. So, bringing this all together, here is the ultimate payoff for us today. If you avoid the trap of lazy link pasting and instead give the AI those precise inputs, like the hard media file or meticulously timed screenshots, the AI will hand you a comprehensive scene-by-scene production script that is completely ready for execution. You literally go from just wondering how a piece of content went viral to holding an exact ready-to-execute blueprint containing the structural timeline, the visual prompts, the detailed scripts, and the editing directions. This workflow takes inspiration and turns it into a totally replicable formula. Which leaves us with this final, exciting thought. You now possess the strategic knowledge to reverse engineer practically any piece of content you come across. You know the exact inputs required, and you know the incredibly detailed structural and creative outputs you can demand from the AI to make your life a whole lot easier. So, now that you have the blueprint, what successful format will you deconstruct and remake first? The tools are right there, waiting for you, and the methodology is totally proven. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Get out there, start experimenting with those direct uploads and precise screenshots, and I will see you on the next one.